Let's go to the next slide. Bless you. All right. Well, the subtitle for this message today is Passion is the Spark for Fireworks in Your Marriage. Everybody say, let me say that again for those of you in the back if you couldn't hear. Passion is the spark for fireworks in your marriage. Now, as you can see on the slide, we have the word passion and fireworks. And as we were preparing for this, we were inspired that those two words kind of go hand in hand together. And we'll talk about a lot of that in our lesson today. And we were inspired to use the theme related to fireworks today because when we were scheduled to do July 5th, we knew that we would be going to see fireworks on July 4th. Actually, we went with our life group last night to see fireworks last night. We won't share those pictures because they're funny pictures, but we had a fun time with fellowship, laughter, and joy seeing fireworks last night with our life group. And so that was the inspiration for this message today. So as I said, passion and fireworks, and we'll talk about this, how those two words kind of go hand in hand for our marriage. And just defining the word passion, I looked up the definition, found two for this message today. The definition of passion is strong feeling of pursuit, enthusiasm, or excitement for an activity. That's passion. Another definition of passion is intense romantic affection or intimate desire. That's passion, okay? Fireworks is, when we think of fireworks, we think of a colorful explosion with sound effects and visual effects, right? And these effects light up the sky. Last night when we were looking at fireworks, we were like, wow, wow. They light up the sky. And there's usually a lot of excitement when we see fireworks. And so, like I said, fireworks have elements of color, light, sound, display, and surprise. And fireworks are typically tied to a fun celebration, right? A fun celebration. We had a lot of fun last night, okay? So when we put the two words together, passion and fireworks, as related to your marriage, consider passion as the spark. It's the enthusiasm, it's the emotional, spiritual, and relational flame for your fireworks. Consider fireworks as the expression. It's the excitement, it's the celebration. It makes your marriage feel alive. So God designed marriages to have these fireworks to be vibrant, expressive, exciting, and fun. But let me tell y'all, here's the problem. We want fireworks in our marriage, but they just don't appear on their own. They don't appear on their own. And after the yummy phase, and Mary and Melvin teach, and they talk about the yummy phase, which is when you first get together, he walks in the room and your heart is just like, ooh, when he first walks in the room. But after 26 years,
Gee, thanks.
I still do that. But after the yummy phase passes, the fireworks may not just appear on their own. If you think they are going to appear on their own or happen automatically, that's an unrealistic expectation, to be clear. That's unrealistic. And you may get upset or frustrated saying, well, he didn't really do anything fun. He didn't really, and pointing the finger at your spouse, right? That's unrealistic. So here's the secret I want everybody to know. You must do the work. You. When I say you, that means me, right? You must have passion to spark the fireworks. Fireworks must be set up. If you saw fireworks last night, somebody had to go out there, set it up, and get all the display ready and ignite it. Somebody had to do that. It just didn't happen on their own. So you must set up the fireworks, meaning you must intentionally set them up. You must set up the excitement. the celebration, these moments of wow. You have to set that up. So when you do this, the more passion you have, the more fireworks you'll have. The more fireworks you have, the more passion you have. So these two things go together, and we'll talk specifically more about some ways to have passions be the spark for fireworks in your marriage. Okay. Next slide, please. All right, so we're going to kick this off to kind of set the stage with passion versus that spark fireworks. Passion versus that spark fireworks. Now, the book of Song of Solomon. In fact, if you went to church this morning, Pastor Joyce said there are many things that preachers don't include in their sermons.
Or they don't like to teach about suffering or whatever, yeah.
So have you heard a sermon where they talked about Song of Solomon?
No.
Not too much.
No, I've never had one where.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about it in the class.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, the book of Song of Solomon is rarely, if not, referenced in sermons. Right? So if you haven't read, because it's not referenced, a lot of people don't know about it, but the Song of Solomon, the book, also called the Song of Songs, is a poetic, intimate book celebrating romantic love, marital passion, and deep emotional connection between a bride and a groom. Depending on the Bible version that you are reading, the man is known as the lover, the groom, the husband or shepherd king. The woman is known as the beloved, the bride, the wife, or the Shulamite girl. It is described as a series of lyrical dialogues filled with imagery, affection, longing, and delight. It portrays a husband and wife who admire, pursue, and cherish each other. And in the book, you'll read that the couple expresses longing for each other. They passionately celebrate each other throughout the book. They speak boldly about what they love about each other. Their words are full of praise, affection, and delight. So we highly encourage you. The book is only 8 chapters, but when you read it, the words are explicit, sensual declarations of their love. So we're going to kick this off and set the stage. Darrel's going to read the one that the man read.
Yeah, well,
he said.
I'm not going to read 1 through 5. I'm going to read I'm at chapter 4, verse 1 through 3.
Yeah, let's skip down to chapter 4.
Yeah.
You see a couple examples on the slide.
Yeah. Okay. So I can see you. How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. And I think this was their wedding they were talking about. Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from Mount Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock. There's some interesting choices here. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep just shorn, coming up from washing. Each has its twin, not one of them is alone. Your lips are like a scarlet ribbon. Your mouth is lovely. Your temples behind your veil are like halves of pomegranates. Your neck is like a tower of David, built with elegance. On it hang thousands of shields, all shields of warriors.
And you're going to stop right there.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he goes on. So
he goes on to the rest of her body, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll give you an example in chapter 5 of the way the woman or the bride talked to her man.
And just quick, I try to tell her she's beautiful. I don't do enough of that. But I know last Sunday it hit me. We were walking out, and I told her, I said, we don't have grandchildren yet. Our children, we're still waiting on them to get married. Yeah, we're praying about that. But I just know someday our granddaughters are going to look at her and say, man, my grandma was fabulous.
Oh, thank you. A hot grandma. All right, so I'll continue on. And like I said in the book, they each said these wonderful, adoring words about their spouse. So she writes, boldly declares about her man. She says, my lover is radiant and ruddy, outstanding among 10,000. His head is purest gold. His hair is wavy and black as a raven.
Use your
Use
imagination.
your imagination. His hair is wavy and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves by the water streams, washed with milk, mounted with jewels. His cheeks are like beds of spice, yielding perfume. His lips are like lilies dripping with myrrh. And she goes on and on down to his legs. We're not including it here, but she goes on and on down to his legs. So reading these passion verses should initiate a spark. So we encourage you to read this book together. The verses teach us that passion will start some fireworks. And what we're encouraging you is passion is holy the way God intended. Romance is intentional. It doesn't just happen. Pursuit is continuous, not occasional. And love is to be celebrated. So that's what these verses teach us, okay? So let's unpack this and dive in further. How to spark, we'll give you some specific tips on how to spark fireworks in your marriage. Okay, so.
You want to go to 5 or 4? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so Darrel's going to talk to the husbands. I will talk to the wives. And we'll both talk to both of you together. Okay? All right. So these are 3 takeaways. Husbands, pursue your wife. Wives, affirm your husband. And together, prioritize intimacy.
All right, you can do the next slide. So men, let's talk about pursuing your wife. And this is something that I personally have to work on a lot, in doing that. So let's talk about that. So one of the first things you can do, or you should do, is learn your spouse's love language. Gina's is physical touch and quality time. And it's easy for me for the quality time, because that's one of mine. I like just us being together. It's something that I enjoy. The physical touch is not something I grew up with. I'm trying to think my parents were married for 60-some-odd years, 67 years. I don't remember them hugging. I'm sure they did, but I just don't remember that. They certainly didn't hold hands. So those are things that I have to work on, I have to be conscious of. And so, like, I say, hey, let's go to Home Depot and look for something when we get out of the truck.
Home Depot?
Yeah. I try to hold her hand when we're walking in the store.
Yeah, he does hold my hand going to Home Depot.
So I have to really look for those opportunities. It's something I have to work on. But I think that means a lot to her. And if you don't know your spouse's love language, I wish I had time to look it up on that QR code. Do you know if we have the love languages test on the site? It's not. Okay, Clayton said it's not. So, but if you need to know, I can show you how to get to that. But if you don't know your spouse's love language, you need to know. And men especially, you need to know your spouses, because you could be doing all kinds of things you think are meeting their need, and they're like, I don't want any of that, So you got to learn their love language. And so again, hers is physical touch and romance, and adore her. Plan romantic moments, and this doesn't require a lot of money. Plan a picnic or a long drive with some special music. Surprise her with a love note. Y'all see Melvin do that all the time. He leaves these secret notes in Mary's bag when she travels. I've not gotten to that level yet, but there's other things I try to do. Create moments to celebrate your love for her. And then again, husbands, Ephesians 5:28, husbands, love your wife. He who loves his wife also loves himself. So I think it says love your wife like you love yourself. In terms of just romance, some simple things. We may say, well, let's go to dinner. But one of the things that we both enjoy is music. And so it's nice sometimes. We live in the Kemah area, to drive down to Galveston. It's about a 35, 40-minute drive. We get to listen to music, talk, and then we eat at a restaurant that we like down there. And just that simple bit of time of just being together, that meets my quality time need and hers as well. And I'm not one to want to sit around and just have a bunch of conversations. But when we're doing that, then stuff comes up, conversations come up, and we have a chance to talk about it. So it doesn't have to be complicated, just simple things. I know Pastor Clayton and Ashley, they like to walk in their neighborhood. There's trails around ponds they like to walk. There's all kinds of things that you can do that are simple, that don't cost any money, that allow you to connect and pursue your wife. It just lets you know, when you're trying to meet those love languages, it's an act of pursuit. And then again, look for ways to connect, laugh and dream. That's one of the things we like to do. We'll watch some TV shows. We're turning into my parents. Uh, I'm realizing that as I get older. My mom and dad, particularly my mom, loves uh, Steve Harvey and
Family Feud.
Family Feud. And so here we are now.
We
For some
watch
strange
Family Feud every
before we
night.
go to bed every night. Yeah, so it's like I don't know, but we have we have a lot of laughs. I mean, that's a big thing. We have a lot of laughs at some of the silly answers that people give, or just different things. And so it's an opportunity to laugh. One of the things that I really, really love that we do is dream about stuff. It just, and it may be a simple dream. We had a dream for our children and what we wanted them to do, not what we wanted them to do, but just their college education. We've had dreams about homes. We've had dreams about some new flooring. And it's just wonderful when you start that dream and particularly home improvements, that can be a stressor for a married couple. But once we work through that and we get it and we're like, wow, this floor looks really, really nice. And it's just a really good way for us to connect. And I just feel like it binds us sometimes. We sold our house a couple years ago that we lived in, and she wasn't so sad about it, but for some reason, I try not to look at stuff like that as, a house is a house. I don't have people say, well, what's your dream house? I don't really have a dream house. It's just what we want. But I felt sad when we moved, and I realized what I felt sad about was all of the dreams that we put together and things that we did there. And and I'm looking back, it's like, well, gee, we're leaving those floors,
We can do new floors in our new house.
Well, that's what I know. But I'm just saying, I just realized how much those little dreams connect us. And so I miss some of those sometimes. So when your wives feel close and connected emotionally, I know Gina needs this for sure, they are more inclined for intimacy, to be close. Keith and Sarah have a good thing. I know she said, you need some skin time. And so sometimes when we're close like that, it really brings us together. We want to remove any of those distractions and create some time to connect. One of the things we haven't been super consistent about it is doing a devotional. We've been doing we do, yeah, that's right, the Bible recap, sorry. We've been doing the Bible recap on YouVersion, and that's been good because we end up doing what? Talking a lot about what did that mean and why did they say that? Or we might read the scripture and then we're like, okay, how's she going to talk about that? So it just gives us an opportunity to connect from a spiritual standpoint. And so any other devotionals, I was looking, we tried to do a devotional several years ago on Song of Solomon, and I could never find a good one. It's like, again, everybody's scared of it, but I did find a good one the other day. We'll have to take a look at it. But just take the time to do those kinds of things. Plan those times. When you're having dinners, I usually have my iPad, and we just sit there and go through that devotional, and it's just a way to connect. Yeah. And then finally, serve her selflessly. Serve her selflessly by carrying burdens. Chore play, and I shouldn't say I don't like that. I'm going to come back to that. Chore play is a way to serve. Depending on the season, wives can be too busy and too exhausted to focus on self-care and her beauty. So help her de-stress and free up time for her to feel beautiful, to do things for herself. And I always try to remember whatever we're doing is to look out. My goal is to be looking out for her best interest. I may not always want to. She likes a new car. She's not a every 3-year kind of person, but every.
I'm glad you declared that.
Well, it was hard to say. I'm a buy them and drive them kind of guy. People are like, well, what about resale value? I said, look, when I'm done with this truck, nobody's going to want it, because I drive them. But at the same time, I have to recognize that that's her need, and so we find a way to make that work and compromise, Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, we do share that run. Yeah.
We'll keep going.
So these small sparks will lead to bigger fireworks. But one of the things I did want to talk about was, this thing about chore play and helping out. God made Adam accountable for the garden. He wasn't always responsible for doing everything, but he was accountable. So when God came to the garden and says, Adam, how come the clothes aren't folded? He didn't ask Eve how come the clothes weren't folded. He's going to ask Adam. So my only thing is, as your wife may be responsible, that may be your agreement to do the laundry and those kinds of things. But in the end, you are accountable. And if the laundry needs to be folded and washed, you got to fold them and wash. If the dishes need to be washed, you need to do that. I hate to think of it as helping out my wife. I'm just doing what I'm accountable to do in my household.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. That's good. So, husband, did you hear that? All right. Wives, you ready? Okay, listen up. Wives, affirm your husband. Affirm your husband. Let's talk about that. What does this look like? First one, show respect and believe in him. Show respect and believe in him. Lift him up. Build him up. Lift him up and build him up. Speak life over him. Be supportive and encouraging. Come on, ladies. Come on. Respect your husband. In the book of Song of Solomon, the woman declares things all the time, respect and lifting up her man. In the book, she says all these phrases. In chapter 2, she declares and speaks boldly, my lover is mine and I am his. In 2026 words, that means that's my man. He's my man. Look at you. You're my man. That's what she says throughout the book. She's always lifting him up and talking about how good he is. When we were doing research for this lesson today, we referred to the Naked Marriage book written by Dave and Ashley Willis, and they have a whole ministry called The Naked Marriage. I highly encourage you to tap into those resources. But in the book, Dave talked about something very specific and profound I want to read for you about respecting and believing in your husband. He said, and I quote, when a husband knows you believe in him, he is at his best. Even the most confident man is secretly desperate for his wife's respect. When a husband feels respected by his wife, he believes he can take on the world. Let him know you think he's the man. A lack of respect rarely motivates a man to improve. So, wives, did you hear that? That's good. Respect your man.
Yeah, and I had a pastor friend that used to teach men's ministry at another church, Pastor Joe Palmore, and he used to always tell the men, he said, nothing or no one ever changes in an atmosphere of condemnation. So if I'm always putting her down to get her to change her behavior, it's just not going to happen.
Right. And if you're not convinced by that, it says in Ephesians chapter 5 and 33, it says the wife must respect her husband. So we're commanded to respect our husbands. And so show appreciation is the next one. Show appreciation for what he does. Also in the book, The Naked Marriage, I want to quote this because it's really profound research that they reference in the book. The research revealed that men would rather hear thank you than I love you. It's not that the men don't want to feel loved, but it's that men tend to feel most love when they feel appreciated. Okay? So, ladies, show appreciation for all he does for you and your family. Show appreciation. Don't just complain about what he's not doing. Show appreciation for what he is doing for you and your family. Oh, yeah. Come on, ladies. Clap. That's so good. And ladies, don't just think it. Say it. Say it boldly to him. Just like in the book of Song of Solomon, all she talked about was the good things about her man in the book. Okay, and here's a bonus about appreciation and respect. Ladies, don't be a nagging wife. There's a little testimony over there. Don't be a nagging wife. It's not affirming for your husband. That's a little secret. He doesn't like it. He won't like it. And Proverbs has a few verses about this if you didn't know. Let me point it out. In chapter 21, better to live in a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Another verse in chapter 21, Better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. So look, ladies, do you want your husband to live in a corner of a roof or in a desert where there's no food and water? Because that's where he'll want to go if you're nagging and quarrelsome all the time. Oh, I'm hearing some ooh. So ladies, don't be a nagging wife. All right, the third one, cultivate a friendship with him. Friendship makes your love much deeper. In the book of Song of Solomon, we're quoting it a lot, but in chapter 5, the woman declares, "This is my lover, this is my friend." So sweet. She declares boldly, "You're my friend, you're my man and my friend." That's what she says in the book. So your husband wants to see you as your best, he wants you to see him as your best friend. He wants to be the one you come to first to talk to about good and bad news. Not your girlfriends, not your mom. Go to your husband. He wants to share adventures with you and create memories with you. So ladies, look for ways to connect, laugh, and have fun. Laugh at his jokes, even if they're dad jokes. Laugh. Plan a fun outing. Enjoy the gift that God has given to you and have some fun. Okay? Then finally, serve him selflessly. That's a theme we're saying across all for both spouses. Serve your husband selflessly by supporting and believing in him. Create moments to celebrate his wins and do something special for him. Come on, ladies. Did you like that? Mm-hmm. Yes. That's the way to create some sparks and fireworks in your marriage. Now, it's 10:53. If anyone needs to tip out, we're almost done. If you could stay just a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Next slide.
Next slide for together. Prioritize intimacy. Want to do that one?
So this is, again, how to prioritize intimacy. So one of the first things is to be naked and unashamed. So in Genesis 2:25, Adam and Eve were in the garden, and there was no embarrassment or no shame. And I'm going to go back up a little bit here. Intimacy is a powerful gift from God for our marriage. God designed intimacy to be exciting, enjoyable, and amazing, and it deepens our love and bond for each other. If there wasn't so much physical enjoyment and experiences that came out of that, you have to ask yourself, well, why do we have to have all these things if it wasn't intended for us to enjoy them? And it is intended for us to enjoy them. So create times to be vulnerable and share your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams. Create times for devotionals. We talked about that earlier, and prayer. Read Song of Solomon, which will help initiate a spark. Create a space that's comfortable for sharing your thoughts. That's not always easy to do, but you want to have, make it comfortable for people to share their thoughts and what they want. You may need to create a space to be quiet, like be a quiet date night or in the home setting, and just have a quiet and comfy space that you can just sit and be. And then the other one, which is probably hard sometimes because it doesn't match up with the ideal romance that we see on TVs and movies, but plan intimacy often. Protect the flame, remove the distractions, create a space for closeness. Dave and Ashley just had their podcast on YouTube talking about intimacy, and they were talking about frequency and those kinds of things. And one of the things that they said was like, you really ought to plan for once a week. And Ashley made a good comment, says, well, somebody's not feeling good or they're tired or this, that, and the other.
Those are the exceptions.
Yeah, there are exceptions. But what she was saying is sometimes you just got to do it. And when you do it, it gets easier to do. So just, take that time to plan it and say, look, once a week we are going to do this. And then again, a plan for that emotional and physical intimacy, and have regular intimacy often. Whatever that frequency is that's best for you. We know planning time doesn't sound spontaneous, doesn't sound romantic and all that good stuff, but we have to do it because things go by quickly, and if you just don't do it, then you miss those opportunities.
Does plan mean put it on your calendar?
It could be, yeah.
Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
Right. It could mean code words on your text.
Yeah. Code words, because
Yeah.
if your kids see it or somebody else sees it.
Yeah. Or you're using a work phone or something like that. Just, we don't have any experience with this. We're just, suggesting some possibilities.
You can call it, do you want cupcakes tonight?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I guess I shouldn't spill ours. People will be wondering if I.
Don't tell anybody what our code word is.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be wondering when we talk about going out to eat pizza. It's like, what are they talking about?
You just said it.
No, I didn't. I just said they'll be wondering if we're talking about going out to eat pizza or something. So submit, Ephesians 5:21, submit to each other out of reverence, support each other, love each other, adore each other, and celebrate each other. And again, I remember that time Keith and Sarah talked about, just skin on skin time. The other thing we talked about one time before.
Yeah, and some people remember it.
Yeah, it's hard to be mad when you're, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's hard to be mad when you're naked. If you're having an argument, just, be naked. The argument goes away. At least for most men, it goes away. All right, so go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for that. So that's how you can together prioritize intimacy. There are a lot of other tips that we could share, but these are the top 3 or 4 that we came together for this lesson. And finally, we're going to wrap up with our last slide on your homework. Our theme is always to have homework this week. Spark your fireworks, everybody. Spark your fireworks this week. Husbands, find ways to pursue your wife. Find 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to pursue your wife.
Yeah.
Look at a way daily to pursue your wife this week.
And you might even ask, if you don't know her love languages, she may not know them, but ask or take the test or just ask, what would it feel like if I pursued you? And then try to do those things.
Yeah, and she'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, my mom never liked flowers, so my dad would buy flowers, and she was like, I don't like flowers.
Yeah.
So he might have been trying to pursue her, but
it's not the right thing.
Yeah, not for her anyway. So, yeah.
And wives, find 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to affirm your husband this week. Look at a way to do it daily. And together, we have on here, read the book of Song of Solomon. That'll spark some fireworks for you. When you read it, you'll see how the two communicated to each other throughout. And it's a short book, only 8 chapters, so you can sit down and read it today. And serve each other selflessly. We had that theme throughout about always serving your spouse. It's a gift. Your spouse is a God that God gave you as a gift. So everybody enjoy your gift. So we hope you enjoyed this kickoff for July about passion. And I encourage everyone to spark your fireworks. Amen. Thank you.